Today, we're gonna win. We're gonna fight.
Notre Dame stops it. The Irish win the game.
We play together, we play for each other, and we play to win.
Inside Notre Dame Football with Brian Kelly is presented by TireRack.com and brought to you by Team Notre Dame members Coca-Cola, Sprint, Gatorade, and Under Armour. Inside Notre Dame Football is also sponsored by ATI Physical Therapy, Bank of America, Cadillac, CBTS, Xfinity, Meyer, Notre Dame Federal Credit Union, Sirius XM Satellite Radio, and UPS.
I was pleased that we came out with the kind of intensity necessary. There was no flatness in the group. Everybody was charged and playing the game that they needed to play. We got to play better, flat out. But you know what? We won a football game. I'm proud of the way we found a way to win, and that's all that matters. You're winners. You guys are winners, and you found a way to win. That's the bottom line. Other teams would have caved under the circumstances. So congratulations. That's a nice win. You're 7-1.
Irish head coach Brian Kelly after Notre Dame came from behind to beat Navy 49-39 Saturday night in a game that saw the Irish lose their defensive leader, linebacker Joe Schmidt, to injury early in the third quarter. Hello again, Irish fans, and welcome to this week's edition of Inside Notre Dame Football with Brian Kelly. I'm Jack Nolan. When Navy has talented players to run their complicated triple option attack, they are very difficult to stop. So the Irish were not surprised. Saturday's game came down to the fourth quarter.
When you have Reynolds and Swain and you have the balance they have, we knew we were in for a challenge. And coupled with the fact that we were going to play 4, 5, 6 freshmen, and then you go lose the heart and soul of your defense in Joe Schmidt, it's going to be a battle. But having said that, we were efficient offensively. Everett Golson had a big night for us, and we were able to put up more points than we let up. And sometimes you got to do that in college football. You got to find a way to win the game, and we did.
This is Jessica. Jessica is driving to the mall, so she's not thinking about tires right now. If she were, she or her parents could go to TireRack.com to find the right tires for her car and get them delivered to an independent recommended installer. But Jessica's not thinking about tires. She's thinking, OMG, if Colt doesn't ask me to the prom, my life is totally over. It's tragical. Tire Rack is a proud sponsor of Street Survival, a hands-on driving experience preparing teens for real roads in the real world.
All across America, people are making the move to improve their TV and internet service by dropping satellite and switching to Xfinity.
Satellite was so frustrating. Bad customer service is one of my biggest pet peeves.
Comcast customer service has improved a lot over the last few years.
I love Xfinity On Demand because there's a lot more options for my kids to watch. I'm Michelle.
And I'm Martin, and we weren't happy with satellite, so we switched to Xfinity.
Join the move to improve and try us risk-free for 30 days. Get started with Xfinity TV for just $19.99 a month for a year. Call today.
Sweat. It says I was here. I worked here. It says I only have so much to give before I have to take. What I lose, I want to get back. Sweat says I earned this. Gatorade, created to help replace what you sweat out.
Notre Dame quarterback Everett Golson made history while leading the Irish to victory over Navy, becoming the first Irish quarterback to throw for 3 touchdowns and run for 3 touchdowns in the same game.
He has come so far from where he was in his first year here. Now he is emerging as one of the best quarterbacks in the country.
And on the second snap of the game, he hits precise for a 78-yard touchdown.
First of all, the timing was precise, and that's not a pun. I thought the explosiveness of CJ was apparent there. You know, fresh legs, was able to take that all the way, and you know, we needed a quick score. It was a great way to start the football game because we knew we were going to have to, every time we touched the football, we're going to have to put some points on the board.
And the next play I wanted to talk about was that pass to Robinson. He did such a great job handling the blitzes. He was unblitzable last night.
They brought a blitz where we just couldn't pick it up, and he dropped back. Middle linebacker was not blocked, and he hit Corey Robinson on a dig route 18 yards down the field. And, you know, again, I think that's another thing that he's, you know, obviously maturing. He was getting into the right protections, and even if they overload blitzed him, he was able to elude the defender and make big plays.
And later in that second touchdown drive, Folston came up with the longest run of his career, the 26-yard run.
Really good run. I mean, we were able to separate their defense. We're putting them in a bind where, you know, we can throw the ball out on the perimeter or we can run it up inside, and it was obviously good blocking, but nice, hard inside run at the point of attack.
Maybe again blitzed in the red zone, and Golson find Koyak for the touchdown.
The key to the play was Cam McDaniel. Cam stepped up, picked up the blitzing linebacker, and Everett read his key, which was the inside backer, and put it right on Ben. It was nice to see him come up with the touchdown.
Almost every time I've seen Notre Dame play a good Navy team, they've moved the ball the first time they've touched the ball, but the second time they touched it, your defense shut them down.
You know, our first down efficiency was pretty good, and that was important going into the game. We wanted to make sure our efficiency was good. And by and large, we did a very good job against the quarterback, and we did a very good job, except for one late run by the fullback. They hurt us on the pitch. I like the way that our team made some adjustments to it, but we played the option, the triple, pretty good. We didn't do a very good job on the perimeter at times, and that's really what hurt us.
A big 21-yard pass to Koyak helped set up your third score.
We were looking to get Ben in the seam. We bent him inside. Nice catch, good run.
Talk about Everett's first touchdown run, 3rd and goal from the 5.
Again, he's a difficult guy to defend. We've got a crossing route on where we're trying to hit Corey Robinson in the back of the end zone. We told him, be patient. If it's not there and they cover everything out, great job to scramble, and he did for a touchdown.
After another defensive stop, you put together another scoring drive, highlighted by a 36-yard completion to Chris Brown.
You know, again, a nice throw by Everett, led him to an uncovered area on the field, and Chris had a big night for us, and it was nice to see him play big last night, and that was a big completion for us.
You then score on a screen pass to Fuller on a formation we've seen before.
Yeah, we load the boundary up, and it's a read. We can run it, we can throw it, and Everett had a nice read there, and it's a pretty easy touchdown for us.
Navy then comes up with a scoring drive. You get the ball back as you have all year. You're driving for another potential score, and the only turnover of the game for you happens.
Yeah, an ill-advised throw. You know, the safety was really sitting down on that inside read route for us. We should have just taken it over the top. Of course, we turn it over, and they get 3 points out of it.
So even though the Irish led 28-17 at halftime, the midshipmen took some momentum with them into the locker room, momentum that continued early in the second half. But the Notre Dame players and coaches expected a win over Navy would require 60 minutes of hard work.
We know we got to play 4 quarters, and we always talk about finishing strong. And the one part about this game is that, you know, we started strong. Maybe the middle part wasn't quite the way we wanted, but the kids finished strong. That's always a great sign that you finished the game the right way, and our kids certainly did.
Before earning enough cash back from Bank of America to help pay for her kids' ice time. Before earning 1% cash back everywhere, every time. And 2% back at the grocery store. Even before she got 3% back on gas, all with no hoops to jump through. Katie used her Bank Americard Cash Rewards credit card to stay warm and toasty during the heat of competition. That's the comfort of rewarding connections. Apply online or at a Bank of America near you.
Gutterman Group is a go.
Yes! Not just a startup, an upstart. Gotta get going.
Gotta be good.
Good?
Good.
Growth is the goal. How do we do that?
I talked to UPS. They'll help us out. New technology, smart advice. We focus on the business, and they take care of the logistics.
UPS.
Good going.
We get good. That's great.
Great. Great.
Great.
Great.
Great.
Great.
Great.
Great.
Great.
I love logistics.
This is Phyllis. Phyllis is headed to a science conference, so she's not thinking about tires right now. But if she were, all she'd need to know is TireRack.com. She could use their reviews to find the perfect tires for her car and get them shipped to a local recommended installer. But Phyllis isn't thinking about tires. Phyllis is thinking, I'm not really sure, but it's probably important. TireRack.com. Find, deliver, install.
Navy got the ball to start the third quarter, and the midshipmen were in the midst of one of their patented long drives when the Irish suffered possibly their most significant injury of the season when middle linebacker Joe Schmidt, the leader of the defense, was knocked out of the game with an ankle injury.
You know, Niles Morgan, a true freshman, went in there, so he just joined another true freshman, Greer Martini, inside, and Drew Tranquil and Andrew Trumbetti and all the other freshmen we had out there just keep playing.
Navy takes advantage of the momentum they got at the end of the first half and getting Joe Schmidt out of the game. They take the lead, but after they take the lead, you respond with an impressive drive that included 8 running plays.
You know, we got out of rhythm a little bit before the half there, and getting back in rhythm was important. So we thought we did a pretty good job of getting our balance back into our offense, and getting a score on the board was absolutely crucial at that point in the game, and we certainly did that.
And a terrific diving run by Golson gets you in the end zone.
Yeah, I mean, again, it was one of those scenarios where we were trying to run a little glance pattern on the backside. Corey had inside leverage. You know, Everett tried to stay on that quick slant to the backside, and there was nothing there, and did a great job of coming out, and that's what he can do. I mean, he can make something happen if the initial read's not there.
Next possession for you, another big pass to Chris Brown, this one for 46 yards.
You know, their safety was about 25 yards deep. We just cleared the safety out and brought Chris all the way across the field. Had great protection. Everett threw a great ball, and then a great run after the catch.
And Folston explodes up the middle for 25 yards in the score.
You know, Navy's feeling pretty good. We're pinned on our 14-yard line after we bobbled a punt and the 2 big plays, and hitting, you know, that inside run to Turin Folston, who just rockets right into the end zone. In 2 plays, we're back on top.
And then your defense, which is scrambling to get their rhythm back after losing their leader, they come up with a huge stop on 4th down.
That's what this team's about, right? You know, battling, and then coming up big. That's what this group's about, is that we get into the 4th quarter and they keep fighting. What I like about it is that you got Justin Utupo out there, who's a 5th-year senior, and he just keeps battling and makes some huge plays in the 4th quarter to help us win.
And follows on the next Navy possession with an interception.
Great interception. Great to see a 5th-year senior who's waited for his opportunity to impact the game, and there's a case why 5th-year seniors are so important to your program.
Talk about Everett's last touchdown run.
You know, what was interesting on the play is that our guys stayed on their blocks and actually found a way to get them in the end zone.
And the game ends with a 4-and-out for your defense, and Matthias Farley is involved big time on 3 of the 4 plays.
At that point now, Navy's got to throw the football, and we activated some of our blitzes, and Matthias got active in it and did a great job of, you know, getting after the quarterback and forcing him out of the pocket.
There is your final score. The Irish beat Navy 49-39 and outscore the midshipmen in the 1st and 4th quarters 35-15, while scoring a touchdown on every red zone trip except when taking 2 knees to end the game at the Navy 19. There is a look at your final stats provided by UND.com. Notre Dame rolls up 500 yards in total offense for the 4th time this season, while holding the nation's top rushing attack 16 yards below their season average. This week's ATI Physical Therapy Strong and True Moment of the Week centers on Tarian Folston's impressive 25-yard touchdown run in the 4th quarter and its joyful aftermath. Most football fans always expect Notre Dame to beat Navy with ease every year, but regardless of the final score, talk to any Notre Dame player, current or former, and they will tell you beating Navy is never easy.
It's a 15-round fight to the end, and especially those type of players, Navy, they're some of the best guys, the leaders in our country, and you know, they're going to give their all every play. And it's one of the toughest games I've played so far in my career.
There's always going to be adversity in a game. You know, it's so hard to win in college football. When you're playing a disciplined team like Navy, you know, we understood at the beginning of the game that, you know, they were going to fight till the end.
Football is a hard game, and Coach always tells us it's hard to get a win in college football. But if it's a tight game like it was tonight, you know, we live for moments like those.
Notre Dame had two-play touchdown drives in Saturday's game against Navy. The first gave Notre Dame a 7-0 lead in the game's opening minute. The second gave the Irish an 11-point lead in the fourth quarter. That second two-play touchdown drive is Coach Kelly's selection for this week's TireRack.com drive of the game.
You know, I'd probably say the drive of the game was the two-play drive, the quick score when we were backed up on our 14-yard line. A lot of momentum that Navy had, we took it out from them right there with those two plays and really turned it back to us when we got the lead back.
The evolution of luxury continues. The next generation 2015 Escalade.
Sprint has done it again. First, there was the Sprint Family Share Pack. A family of 2, 4, or even 10 gets unlimited talk, text, and 20 gigabytes of data to share with the entire family for only $100 a month. That's double the high-speed data of AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Double the data. And now check out Sprint's new unlimited plan. Individual lines of unlimited data, talk, and text at just $50 a month per line. Our lowest price ever. $100 a month for the family, $50 a month for individual lines. Sprint, it's the best value in wireless.
Because many broadcasters and writers still use the word walk-on and Joe Schmidt in the same sentence, some may not realize just how important the senior linebacker is to the Notre Dame football team. Joe turned down scholarship offers from other schools to walk on at Notre Dame and earned a Notre Dame scholarship before last season. Not only is he a talented athlete who is leading the team in tackles this season, he also has a brilliant football mind and is the undisputed on-field leader of this year's Irish defense. On Tuesday, Schmidt will have surgery to repair the ankle he injured against Navy and will miss the rest of this season. It's a huge loss for an Irish team entering its toughest stretch of games on the 2014 schedule.
You know, Joe obviously is the heart and soul of our defense and has been all year, and then you know, to come up with the injury that he did. You know, he's so tough. He fractured his ankle and dislocation, and he was going to play the next play. We told him, get down on the field, but he was going to stay in there and play on it.
I think you can make an analogy that Joe Schmidt is the Everett Golson of your defense this year. So how do you replace him?
Well, you don't replace Joe Schmidt. You know, what you can replace is, you know, somebody else has to step in there. You know, that has the athletic ability to play that position, but you're not going to replace Joe Schmidt's leadership. And so everybody else has got to pick up the slack. You know, so Jalen Smith's got to pick up the slack. You know, Sheldon Day's got to pick up the slack. Our safety's got to pick up the slack. So there's everybody combined, all other 10 players, 11 players have got to pick up the slack, and that's just next man in. That's what we preach around here, and that's what we'll do.
Obviously, having Joe out there helps our defense a lot, morally and strategically, getting everybody in the right place. You can't really replace Joe.
You know, he goes down. I understand that you know, a young guy is going to come in, and you know, my job is to help lead this team, this defense, and rally together, and you know, essentially play for Joe. And you know, those young guys, they did a great job.
The good news regarding Schmidt, Coach Kelly expects Joe to return for a 5th year in an Irish uniform next season. One of the many players who came through for Notre Dame against Navy was junior wide receiver Chris Brown, who caught 2 passes against the midshipmen for a career-high 82 yards. Both receptions set up Irish touchdowns and set up Brown to take his turn running the inside Notre Dame football 60-second drill. Favorite musical group or artist?
Wale.
What did you do on your first date?
Movies.
Place anywhere in the world you would like to visit?
Australia.
What is your favorite place at Notre Dame?
The lake.
What is your pregame routine?
I have a playlist. I usually listen to.
New turf in Notre Dame Stadium.
Awesome.
Hardest hitter on the team.
Shoemate.
Best singer on the team.
Ev.
Best dancer on the team.
Myself.
Best comedian on the team.
Elijah Schumann.
Best comedian on the coaching staff.
Coach Demro.
Best dresser on the team.
I say Matthias Farley.
Worst dresser on the team.
Elijah Schumann.
Player on the team most like you.
CJ Prosise.
Best thing about playing for Notre Dame.
80,000 plus.
Chris Brown, you've completed the 60-second drill on Inside Notre Dame Football.
Thank you.
Couple of quizzes. Dinner? I don't know. Oh, love that. Send me the recipe. You too, Mom.
Hey, Jake.
Hey, what are you doing?
We're just sitting down for dinner.
Perfect. Mind if I join you?
You did it.
Whenever you're close to Meyer, you're a little closer to home.
A financial institution is behind many of the milestones in your life. Pick one that sees you as more than just an account number. Own your dreams. Join a credit union today.
It's time now for this week's Ask Coach Kelly question presented by CBTS. This week's question comes from Josh Buffo of Steubenville, Ohio. Josh asks, Coach, what is the hardest part of being the head coach at Notre Dame, and what is the easiest part of being Notre Dame's head coach?
The hardest part probably is just to make sure that you keep balance on doing all the jobs surrounding being the head coach. I mean jobs outside of coaching your football team. You know, you've got media responsibilities, you've got alumni responsibilities, development responsibilities. So balancing all those is probably the hardest. I think the easiest part of the job is you get to be running out of that tunnel and coaching Notre Dame football. That's the fun part on Saturdays.
If you would like to send in a question for Coach Kelly, just log on to UND.com and click on Ask Coach Kelly in the rotating boxes in the middle of the main page. Next up for the Irish, a challenging game against Arizona State Saturday in Tempe. The Irish are ranked a few slots ahead of the Sun Devils in every poll, but it is always very tough to beat a ranked team on the road.
Defensively, we know Coach Graham loves to bring the pressures and different exotic looks defensively. Probably one of the most balanced teams in the country in terms of run pass. Great challenge on the road. We handled ourselves very well at Florida State. This will be a similar kind of environment. It's a big game for everybody. So we'll have to overcome that environment, but also a very, very good football team.
A win by the Irish Saturday afternoon would also provide Notre Dame with a quality win over a ranked team, the kind of win the College Football Playoff Selection Committee made very clear last week they value so highly when ranking teams. That will do it for this week's edition of Inside Notre Dame Football with Brian Kelly. We will, of course, have all the highlights of the Notre Dame-Arizona State matchup on next week's show. Until then, thanks so much for watching, and as always, go Irish. Inside Notre Dame Football with Brian Kelly has been presented by TireRack.com and brought to you by Team Notre Dame members Coca-Cola, Sprint, Gatorade, and Under Armour. Inside Notre Dame Football is also sponsored by ATI Physical Therapy, Bank of America, Cadillac, CBTS, Xfinity, Meyer, Notre Dame Federal Credit Union, Sirius XM Satellite Radio, and UPS.